Hello everyone, we are going to start with another lecture of performance management, and in this lecture we are going to deal with the single product case of P5 or of F5, and let's see what we can do here. The Elka Hotel is situated in major city close to many theaters and restaurant, right? The Elka Hotel has 25. We are talking about a hotel business. The hotel has 25 double bedded rooms and it charges guests 180 per room per night, regardless of single or double occupancy. The hotel's variable cost is around 60 per occupied room per night. The Elka Hotel is open for 365 days a year and has a 70% budgeted occupancy rate. 70% budgeted occupancy rate means that if suppose you have 25 rooms available, then out of 25 rooms, only 70% rooms will be occupied and 30% rooms will be free. I mean unoccupied. Fixed costs are budgeted to be 600,000 a year and occur evenly throughout the year. This statement means that fixed cost per month will remain same. There is no change in fixed cost. During the first quarter, during the first quarter of the year, the room occupancy rates are significantly below the levels expected at other times of the year, with Elga Hotel expecting to sell 900 occupied rooms night during quarter one. Now, why they are saying it's significantly below the level? See, we have 25 rooms, right? And we are operating 365 days a year, right? Divided by 4, because we are talking about the first quarter. So that means we should have the occupancy should be 2281, right? But what we are expecting, the hotel is expecting to sell only 900 occupied rooms night during quarter one. That is well below as compared with the expectations. Options to improve profitability. Options to improve profitability are being considered, including closing the hotel for the duration of quarter one, right? Or adopting one of the two sorry, or adopting one of the two possible projects as follows. So we have first option is just to close hotel for the first quarter so that we can save the cost. The other options are given below. The first option is the project one theater package for quarter one only. This is not applicable for the other quarter, just for quarter one. The Adler Hotel management would offer guest theater package. Couples who pay for two consecutive nights at a special rate of 67.5 per room per night will also receive a pair of theater tickets for a payment of $100. Now this means what? See, what is the original price? Original price was this 180, right? But what we are saying that, hey, look, if you are coming in quarter number one and if you are paying for two consecutive nights, then we will give you a special rate of 67.5 per room per night and a pair of ticket theater for the payment of $100. Now, the important thing is that we need to identify how much valuable this $100 ticket is for the customers. The theater tickets are very good value and are the result of long-term negotiations, are of a great value and are the result of long negotiations between the Elka Hotel management and the local theater. The theater tickets cost Elka Hotel $95 a pair. So that means what they are selling to the customer for $100, they are getting for $5. That means they are getting around $5 benefit. The Elka Hotel fixed cost specific to this project is budgeted to be $20,000. Now, the hotel management believes that the theater package will have no effect on their usual quarter one customer who are all business travelers and who have no interest in theater tickets but will still require their usual rooms, right? Now, what is project number two? Project number two says there is a scope to extend the Elka Hotel, and this is the second option. To extend the Elka Hotel and create enough space to operate a restaurant for the benefits of its guests. The annual cost, revenues, and volumes of the combined restaurant and hotel are illustrated in the following graph. So this is basically the break-even chart for combined restaurant and hotel operation. Now for this, you must recall what is the break-even chart, because if you cannot recall what is the break-even chart, then definitely it will be really very difficult for you then it will be really very difficult for you to understand this graph, right? So we will discuss this graph later when it's required in the question. Now, what is the first requirement? First requirement is using the current annual budgeted figures and ignoring the two proposed projects. Now, this is very important. You don't have to consider these two projects. Calculate the break-even number of occupied rooms, nights, and the margin of safety as a percentage, that is for 4 months, right? So we are not supposed to consider these two projects. Now, how we can do that? Um, See, for the calculation of break-even, what we need is we need break-even point. Break-even point is calculated by dividing fixed cost with contribution margin per unit, right? So what is the fixed cost? Fixed cost of the hotel is around 600. We have to ignore this uh, uh, these two projects in this case. So 600,000 is the fixed cost, right? 600,000 is the fixed cost. Is it annual? Yeah, using the current annual then. Right. So this is for the whole year. So 600,000 is for the whole year divided by what? Divided by contribution per unit. Contribution is 180 per dollar. 180 per dollar is the price and 60 is the variable cost. So probably it's 180 minus 60 is 120, right? So 600,000 divide, oops, sorry, 600,000 divided by 120 is equals to 5,000. You have to sell 5,000 room nights in order to achieve the break even point. Now, it's not the requirement, but uh, I mean, right now we can say that there is 70% occupancy rate is here, right? So we need to identify that how whether company is able to achieve the break even or not in this case. So see, we are done with the first part. They say that calculate the break even number of rooms night occupied, right? We are done with this part, and the margin of safety as a percentage. Percentage, yeah. Now, margin of safety is what? Margin of safety is equals to budgeted sales minus break-even sales. And margin of safety in percentage is equals to margin of safety divided by budgeted sales, right? So, first of all, we have to calculate what are the budgeted sales. See, what is the situation given here? They are saying that 365 days are per year multiplied by 25. 9125 is the overall occupancy. I mean, they can offer 9,125, right? 25 times 365 is 9125, right? But what the problem is, only 70% rate applies. So multiply by 70%. 9125 multiplied by 70% is 6387.5. 6387.5. That means we are expecting that company will be able to sell 63875 units, right? Is this over and above the break even sales? Yes, this is more than the break even sales. Break even was 5,000, right? So margin of safety in units is equals to what? 6387.5. Let's make it 7 minus 5,000. So that is 1387, right? This is margin of safety in units. And margin of safety in percentage is margin of safety divided by budgeted sales. So margin of safety divided by budgeted sales is 9125. No, 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 no. Budgeted sales are 6387 times 100. We are not considering 9125 because this is the total capacity. The quantity which we will sell is 6385, right? So 1387 divided by 6387 times 100 is 21.715%, right? Now, This shows what? This shows that company is still selling 21% more than the 21 or 22% more than the budgeted sales, right? So we are done with the 4 marks requirement, right? Now, what is the next point? Next point, ignoring the two proposed projects. Now, again, you have to ignore the two projects. Calculate the budgeted profit or loss for quarter number one and explain whether the hotel should be closed for quarter number one or not. So we just have to calculate budgeted profit for quarter one, right? So we are going to start with question number B, right? We can do it on Excel as well. Let's try to follow some Excel because see, what is the next requirement? Calculate the budgeted profit or loss for quarter number one, right? So if you want to calculate profit or loss, you have to start with the budgeted sales, right? So budgeted sales. Now, what will be the budgeted sales? You don't have to consider these two projects. Keep this thing in mind. So what is the sales volume for quarter one? 900 units, and multiply by what? How many units? What is the selling price? Selling price is 180 per room per night. So that is simple, right? 162,000. What is the variable cost? Variable cost is 60 times 900, right? So what is the contribution? Contribution is this figure minus this figure is 108,000. What is the fixed cost? Fixed cost is 600,000, but that is for whole year. So 600,000 divided by 4, that is for quarter one. So I think there is a loss. Contribution minus fixed cost is, yes, there is a loss, right? So there is a loss of 42,000, right? It's simple. I'm just using Excel just to give you a flavor that in case someone asks, in case this question comes to the constructive response question, at least you should be able to use the Excel. So Excel is not a big deal. We can do it on Note, we can do it on Excel, whatever you want to do, right? So what's the next? Calculate the break-even point. Now the C requirement, and explain whether the hotel should close for the duration of quarter one. Now it's completely a theoretical part. Do you really think that the company should close hotel for quarter number one, or should continue with quarter number one revenue? See, the problem is what? The problem is this contribution is positive, right? What we believe is contribution is positive, and if contribution is positive, then company should continue with the project. See, if you close this quarter number one, then what will happen? Your revenue will become zero, right? Your variable cost will become zero, your contribution will become zero because you are not selling anything. But can you ignore the fixed cost? No. So that means what? That means fixed cost will remain as it is. So the loss for the quarter number one will be what? Loss will be 1,50,000. Right now you are at least recovering 108,000 out of 150,000, which is a good option, right? So just remember, we never consider. I mean, we always consider contribution whenever we want to decide about anything, right? We do not consider profit. So in case this fixed cost would have been avoidable fixed cost. I mean, if you discontinue in quarter number one, this fixed cost could have been avoided. If that is the case, in that case you can shut down in the first quarter. But right now this is a general fixed cost, so you should not do that, right? Now it's a very simple thing. This is 4 marks. In 4 marks you just have to calculate the profit, and you have to recommend 2 marks for profit calculation and 2 marks for the recommendation, right? What is C part? Calculate the break-even point in sales value of project number one and explain whether the hotel should adopt the project or not. Now we have to move to project number one, right? All right. Now, what is project number one? They are saying that okay, fine. Only for project number one. They are saying only for project number one, right? So you don't have to consider current situation. So what is project number one? They are saying that for quarter number one, the Elka Hotel Management would offer guests a theater package couples who pay two consecutive night as a special rate of 67.5 per room per night. And so the revenue, see, the revenue is what? Revenue is for theater. They will get for hotel. They will get 67.5 per room per night, and for theater, they will get $100, right? So in totality, they will get this plus this much amount from the customer, right? And pair of theater is for $100, so you don't need to multiply it with 100 with 2. Now what is the variable cost? Variable cost is same. Variable cost is 60, right? Total variable cost is 60, and theater variable cost is 95, right? So what is the contribution? Contribution is 167 minus 60 minus 95. This is the contribution, 12.5. And what is the specific fixed cost? 20,000, right? So that means fixed cost is 20,000, right? So the break even point is this fixed cost divided by contribution. So at least 1600 room nights should have at least 1600 room nights are required if company wants to achieve a break even, because they have to incur 20,000 fixed cost, right? And they will just have they just will earn 12.5. So ideally 1600, if someone asks me explain the whether hotel should adopt the project or not. So apparently they should not go for this option, because see, there is a statement which is given here. This statement is really very important. Adopting or one of the two sorry, not this one. uh, Yeah, this point. The hotel management believe that the theater package will have no effect on their usual quarter one customer, who are all business traveler and who have no interest in theater tickets, but will still require their usual rooms, right? So that means what? That means this theater package is not applicable. If you start the theater project, then what will happen? You have to incur a fixed cost of 20,000, right? And if you want to recover that 20,000 fixed cost, then you have to sell additional tickets, because these 900 people who are coming into the hotel are not going to be get affected by it, because they are business travelers. They are not interested in theater, right? So that means what? That means, see, let me try to show this. Uh, we have already identified that how many rooms we have. See, the maximum rooms per for maximum room for quarter one is what? 365 times 25, right? And let's divide it by 4, right? Divided by 4. So we have maximum 281.25 rooms, right? We have maximum 2, let me try to check this. 225 into 365. Yeah, we have maximum 2281 rooms available, right? And if you consider that 900 rooms are for business travelers, before business travelers there are 900 rooms available. That means what? That means remaining rooms available for this theater project is how much? 1381. And how many units we require for the break even? In this case, we require at least 600 units for the break even. That means it's impossible for us to achieve this break even, because the rooms available for this theater project are almost 1381. So we'll not be able to achieve this. We will not be able to recover this 20,000 fixed cost in any case, right? So because see, you are just earning $12.5 benefit from the project, and you are incurring $20,000 cost. So apparently, it seems that it's not a good option for company to go for this project, right? Now, I mean, this is for 4 marks. 4 marks, for 4 marks, 2 marks maybe of the calculation which we are done, and 2 marks are the reason recommendation that why you think that it is not a feasible option. Now, what is point number D? Requirement number D is using the graph quantity and comment on the using the graph quantify and comment upon the financial effect of project 2 on Elka Hotel. Right now, what will happen is, let's try to identify this graph first. See, situation is what? Situation is current break even point is what? Current break even point is 5,000. And if we include this restaurant, because this is combined restaurant and hotel operations, right? If we include this restaurant, then the break even point will be 5161, right? So break even point is expected to, let me try to write it here. Break even point is expected to increase by how many units? 161 units, right? Now, what about the margin of safety? Margin of safety is budgeted sales are probably 800, 8,000. No, budgeted sales are 7,300, I guess. Mm, Total cost are 1560. Yeah, sales are 8,000. Mm, Probably sales are 8,000. So sales are 8,000, and sales are 8,000, and margin of safety is break even is 5161. That makes 2839, right? 2839. Margin of safety is expected to be 2,839 units, right? Right now, margin of safety is what? Right now, margin of safety is 1387. So break even will increase by 161 units, and margin of safety will increase by 2839, right? Now, what will be the effect on profit? See, sales volume, sales revenue is 200,000, 2 million, and total cost is expected to be 1560, right? So 2 million minus 1560 is $440,000 profit, right? Profit is expected to be 440,000, right? And what is the profit currently? Profit, it's not given here. But current profit is, see, margin of safety is 1387 units, huh? So if you multiply this figure with contribution per unit is 120, you will get the margin of safety, right? So you will get the profit, right? So current profit is 1387 multiplied by 120. So current profit is 166,440. 166,440, right? And the new profit is approximately 4,40,000. So there's a slight increase in break-even point, but there is a significant increase in margin of safety. There is a significant increase in profits. Your sales volume is expected to increase. Initially, sales volume was just 70%. Now we are expecting that sales volume will be around 8,000. The sales volume is also expected to increase. So all these things are considering all these facts, it seems that restaurant business is a beneficial option for the company, right? So it's just 8 mark requirement. For 8 mark requirement, you have to identify, you have to write all these things, that see, break even point is this month, break even point, if company accept this project, then break even will increase by 161 units, margin of safety will increase by 2839, margin of safety will become 2839, which is 8 units higher than the current situation. Current profits are just 166,440, but the new profits will be 440,000, which is more than the current situation. Sales volume is expected to increase, because if you are selling 8,000, because if you are selling 8,000 units, All right, if you're selling 8,000 room nights, right? So 8,000 divided by, what was the total? 9125. 9125. That means you will be having 87% occupancy in that case. So 87% occupancy means a huge amount. Occupancy will be 87%. So it's a good thing, and it seems that company should go with this option because all everything is in favor of the company, right? So that's the end of this video. It there are up to 4 marks available for the calculation. So break even will increase, margin of safety will increase, profit will increase. I mean, margin break even will increase by 161, margin of safety will increase by 1387. Itna units margin of safety will increase. 440,000 is the current profit, is a new profit 166,440. So this will be the increase in profit, right? Sales volume will increase by sales volume will be 8,000, and initially sales volume was 6387.5. So there's an increase in sales volume. Occupancy will be increased by 70%. So all things are indicating, suggesting that company should go with this proposal, right? So it's a good question, I personally believe. So that's the end of this question. And from the next video, we are going to start with the multiple product case. Till then, take care of yourself. Have a nice day. Allah Hafiz.